baby, we are waking up. A beautiful Friday morning. Welcome to the blockchain basement. We have a Trump-China trade deal hitting confirmation. Interesting reaction from the markets so far. We're keeping a close eye on the charts as we head into the weekend. Popping off, sending some great trade calls out this morning on the Discover Investments Group Discord. God, me and Josh have been absolutely nailing this. It's not easy publicly trading the most volatile asset class on the planet, but boy, howdy, are we in there printing some cash, and it is a good time. So shout out to everyone that got in on the trades with me and Josh this morning. Shout out to everyone here in the chat. We got Beast Mode, BTC, Kyle Watts, Carbon, Dylan K, Jason Hinshaw, of course, we got Doobie Doo. I think I said Big Hands Dan, but again, Big Hands Dan. Hope to see you soon again. Papa Guth. Private Isaac reporting for Poon. Isaac's out there. He's doing some testing, some more testing today, I do believe. And he's got he picked up he's got a battle buddy. He's all excited about it. You know, God bless him. God bless him. You know, he's going into it, going into the thickness. Deadwood, what is up? And, you know, in this show, it's Friday, so we're feeling a little bit loosey-goosey. I want to check out the projects that you guys want me to focus on a little bit. We got a good amount of news to go into. Make sure you are following me on the Twitter at Druth Crypto here. Send me in a message. I do got to get back to one fella who wanted to get the discount code OG NFT holder, but hit me up in there. If you want to get in on the trading group, it is completely free to get in on the trading side of our Discord. And we have a paid version for all of our DeFi insights, really everything and all things related to finance and really just general investment mentorship. You can get to me on Twitter here, and I'll get you that code as well. So let's hop into the overall charts here. Make sure you're subscribed, following on the blockchain basement. We got all our videos here, long-term videos. I'm going to start doing some black site videos as well. There is a lot of weird things going on in the world that we need to discuss on the black site. So make sure you're subscribed. Become a member if it's in your heart to do so. And here is the trade from this morning. Looking good so far. So what we had was a deep pullback. The momentum went below the 60 level on the momentum side. I had my trigger wave with a violent action beforehand. This momentum wave moved to the upside actually twice. And so I ended up getting into the position. Now we are sitting in this position currently. Really what I'm watching here is these volume nodes. There is a set of volume nodes that I do hope we can hold, essentially right at a 106.9. The next one below us here, right at about 106.7. So I got my stop loss sitting right in between here at about 106.6. 5 to see if we can hold this position as I run through all the stories here. It'd be super great if we could. That would just be great if someone could call the market makers and tell them to wait a minute, hold up, because something's gone right. Again, let's check out the liquidity levels. Let's see where we're at. We're right under a pile of liquidity we can grab. Hundreds of millions of dollars in shorts that will be gutted and destroyed should we start breaking up and start chunking these in at $107,500. So watching that very closely. Let me know if you guys are in any trades as well. What's up, dude? Low down in the Rumble chat. Good to see you. Man, it's a beautiful day. You know, I am so thankful every single day for my family, my wife, my beautiful kids, and the chance to make even more Tether and YOLO it into Bitcoin with these trades. Now, we did have a major announcement come out yesterday that really we haven't seen the major implications or reaction from the markets on yet. But it is Trump talking about a trade deal being confirmed. Let's have a listen to what's going on here.
The press was saying, do you really have anybody of any interest? Well, we just signed with China yesterday, right? Just signed with China. We have everybody. We're not going to make deals with everybody. Some we're just going to send them a letter, say, thank you very much. You're going to pay 25, 35, 45%. That's the easy way to do it. And my people don't want to do it that way. They want to do some of it, but they want to make more deals than I would do. But we're having some great deals. We have one coming up, maybe with India, very big one, where we're going to open up India. In the China deal, we're starting to open up China, things that never really could have happened.
Sounds like we got India is next on the agenda here. So we got to pay attention to that. India, I don't think is nearly as big of a deal as China. And the weirdest thing about this is that this news came out about Trump announcing a trade deal with China and markets actually dumped. We had this initial kind of momentary pump, and a lot of people were telling me, no, we're going to go up and we're going to, chunk up to the upside. Really, what I'm looking at is just a consistent downward channel that we're in right now. Kelly was covering that kind of main escape gateway moment being currently where we need to pump out of. And I do agree with Kelly on this, is about $108,000. Breaking above and beyond this, we need to see bulls reclaim, bam, and then break out of that. That's what we need to see in this current channel. And until further notice, I'm going to be trading this as a channel, just in terms of like the scalps and, my leverage trade positions, because this is a pretty clear just trading range that we've developed. And I'm going to be treating it as such. Thus, why I had a little bit of extra confluence on this morning. And we got our entry point on the 15-minute. Now let's hop on over. Let's get some data. Let's get some juice going on here. We got a green dot still printed, freshly printed on the hourly. A nice sign right there. The pullback's getting deeper and deeper as we head down. But boy, howdy, this is going to have a moment where it's going to get tired of bumping its head against this ceiling on this downward trend line and just blast up and above this current level. We do have to come down and prove it as support, in my humble opinion. That's what we're looking at on the 1 hour. Head on over to the 4 hour. Again, a green dot. This is actually looking delicious across the board here. Very, very nice. Okay. So 4 hour, we're printing a green dot. We have the VWAP moving back up to the upside. Looks like it wants green. Looks very uppity to me. And if you're from Atlanta, you know what I'm talking about. Now let's go on over to the daily here. Still riding the daily green dot. Now, the last I looked at the weekly in these terms, we were riding and fighting against a red dot that had printed on the I love you too, honey. God. Oh, she just comes by and says, I love you, Daddy. Hi, Brooke. Oh, oh my God. You got an ocelotto? You got an ocelotto? Let me see this thing. What is this? What is this? She comes over this ocelotto. It comes to just wave, They can't see. Come here. That's my beautiful daughter, Brooklyn. Ah, all right. You go have fun. Go have some lunch. Back home, Jasper. I love you. Oh my gosh. Giving me hugs. All right, honey. Daddy's going to keep going with the show. You go eat some food, okay? All right, let's go to Brianna. Oh my God. Where is her? Was she just like playing in the water or something? What is she doing? Okay, they're having water balloon fights. All right, you know what? Men only want one thing. Real men only want one thing, and it's disgusting. It's this, folks. This is. I had this tab saved up, and they kind of were a perfect segue. This is the only thing men want. Real men. I can see him. This is real. This is what real men want. Look at the excitement. And you know what? It's going to be tough when they go back to school. I've had such a blessing to have them at work with me while I'm getting my work done. I mean, yeah, they're tough and maybe I miss morning entry points on trades, but having my kids with me here at work is absolutely ridiculous. Dizzy Gang, no, I cannot adopt you yet. What up, Kelly? Just super cute. My kids just rated the stream. It was adorable. All right, so we talked about the China trade deal. Looks like India's coming up. Green Day profits dropping the memberships. Thank you very much for helping out the channel, my brother. Holy cow. Drew, I hope you were that excited when you pick up Isaac for basic training. 100%. There's my man Kelly. Are you cooking some meat? You got some meat to cook? No? All right. We might need to figure out lunch afterwards. We might need to figure out some lunch, all right, so let's talk about the EU. EU is weighing cutting the tariffs on U.S. goods, opening up, less tariffs, less cost for United States to be sending our products into the United European Union. Great. I don't see this as a huge driving factor for the U.S. and, kind of the price action in general. but it looks like the world is coming to terms. Daddy is home, Trump is home, and they're having to accept it and kind of figure out how to deal with its trade implications there. Now is, and I'm so tired of this. Every time we have good news, the tiny hats come in to try to piss on our parade. We have Israeli Defense Minister Katz says Tehran should understand that Operation Rising Lion was just a trailer. Oh, that's super. So it looks like they want to try to continue the battle going off. What do we got? DCA and Prey talking 4 more days until tariff talks kick in. See where that goes, man. Hopefully it doesn't get bad. And you know what? Things are getting weird here in Atlanta. This was posted yesterday at Everything Georgia. People reported seeing a fireball over Atlanta, hoping that this is not a meteor that freaking landed. Looks very, very awkward. Like, what the hell is that? Is that a piece of a satellite? Is that a meteor? Let me know. Diddy getting out of jail? No. Leave Diddy in jail, bro. Leave Diddy in jail. Man, that backstrap steak last night slapped. I had steak this week. It was very good. You thinking it's a meteor, David? Okay, that's kind of what my knee-jerk reaction to that was, a meteor. If you're altercation coin, I would pump and dump you. If I was an altercation coin. Nice. Might be aliens, hopefully not. Or maybe that's just a weave delivery that came in from India. Now Bitcoin has flipped Google to become the 6th largest asset by market cap. Next stop is Amazon here. So Bitcoin sitting here. This is measured in euros, 1.5 trillion euros. Now the Google right below it, and Amazon, that's a pretty big step up here to try to take over Amazon, but we are coming up on the heels of it. Nice to see that Bitcoin is just chunking one by one up and closer to gold. Gold is a massive market cap to be targeting. But in my humble opinion, Bitcoin is doing absolutely that. It is targeting gold and the gold market cap, which in terms of US dollars is right at around $20 trillion right now. If Bitcoin should accomplish this over the next cycle or two, that means $1 million Bitcoin is coming within the next 5 years. That's absolutely crazy to think about when we see the macro implications of Bitcoin being accepted by, all of Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, all these massive mortgage companies in terms of recognizing it as an asset class. We have BlackRock ETFs hammering into it. We have U.S. state representatives moving towards actually trying to get a federal Bitcoin reserve going, and states front-running the United States federal government in doing so. This is not too far off the mark here. Not too far off the mark. In terms of, man, it would be nice if we could hit $1 million Bitcoin while I'm in this trade. Let's see where things are at right now. What are we at? I wonder how much percentage gain. What's the percentage gain? This is like a 3,000. All right, so we got like $600. $600, 17%. Not bad. Interesting. Well, let's see if we can bust out of this while I'm yapping here. Maybe the markets are liking what I'm saying. Now, other things that make you just kind of scratch your head. Some examples of successful branding. You have Federal Express is a good rebrand. FedEx, Microsoft, better logos. Target, I like the logo more. And this is more kind of accepting and fully encompassing. Instead of the sickle and hammer for communists, they've moved to Black Lives Matter, the LGBTQ plus community, anti-fascist, and the Democratic Party. So very, very nice rebrands there. Makes things more concise. Good job, you guys. Now, Bitcoin has rallied above 100K in November of 24 and May of 2025, which drove $3.8 billion and $2.5 billion spikes in Binance open interest. Oh my gosh, I love you too, kiddo. Go eat some food. I'll see you soon. Traders are rushing in. So what we have here is open interest by exchange on a 30-day change, and we are starting to see this spike again. So I'm liking what I'm seeing just in terms of Ethereum. Bitcoin obviously has been the clear bullish winner. Ethereum in the backdrop, like what about me? And I'm starting to get a little bit more and more enticed by trading Ethereum. In terms of Bitcoin, obviously we got to look at this. We are really trying to push above this. I have this just general trend line that I do got to keep an eye on, because we are getting dang close to that. We are getting dang close to that trend line here. So we'll see if we can break about it while I'm on the live stream here. Now let's pull up. And you know what? We have another larger chart that I'm going to be paying attention to, which is Circle. We're seeing a little bit of a sell-off and a buying opportunity potentially for me and my greedy entry points on Circle as well. So Ethereum at 2,400, 440, it is bounced off of this top end of the block that it had previously worked real hard to fight out of. So that is a good confluence moment. But I think Bitcoin dominance is still looking pretty dang strong. Let's go look at Bitcoin dominance and see what we're dealing with right now. Yeah, there it is. So 65.7% still looking very, very bullish. July 4th, people are thinking is a dump, black swan. Jeet's on the radar, dad of the year. Thank you very much, Colonels. I try really, really hard to be a positive impact and like a positive memory in my kids' minds. That's like, it's Conway Twitty. Conway Twitty said it best. I mean, I can't remember the song, but it's like the impressions that you leave behind on your children. Those are the things that matter. None of this tether is going to go with me. The Bitcoin's going to go to the kids' hands anyways. It's about leaving a positive impact so that they're good humans, and I can try to better the world by leaving good humans behind on the planet. That's what it's all about. Bitcoin trying to break out right now. Let's go. Let's get a little bit more juice off of this. A little bit more juice. Did we bump our head off of that trend line? Let's go check it out. Oh, baby, we are breaking above and beyond the trend line. Let's go. Let's go. Come on now. +1 in the chat. Give me a shot. And if you're not in the trading group, I mean, come on. What do you do? It's literally free. I work day in and day out along with Josh and a team of traders. We have like pro traders in there along with us, giving you guys the alpha here. I mean, it's literally free. So it's kind of insane if you're not in the Discord chat with us. Now let's see if we can get some confluence. If we print a red dot in the short time frame, we got to watch out for that. Bam. Bam. Let's see here. What are we looking at here? I got this on a couple different. Oof. Shit, that's almost $1,000 already. All right. In a very short amount of time. Not bad. All right. Reload this. All right. That's looking pretty good. Bitcoin dominance also looking violent to the upside. I have no problem taking this tether and turning it into Bitcoin actively, even above $100,000. That's what it's all about. Stacking sats. Not, I have enough altcoins. I realize this. So here's the 15-minute. I drew this literally as we did the show. So maybe I should be taking profits right now. We'll see. I got to keep covering the stories here. There's a lot of stuff to cover. In the world, especially this. Price predictions for Q4 from James Wynn. He's thinking $80,000 is what's coming for Bitcoin in Q4. Now, is Wynn going to win this argument? Because I've been arguing back and forth with this guy on Twitter. For me, I really dislike this call. I really dislike this. I really think that Bitcoin is set up for a larger move to around a minimum expectation of this price movement over the next few months here is $130,000 for me personally. I think it goes up to about $170,000 within Q4. And that's just my personal opinion, man. I think Wynn is going to lose this argument here. And they were dancing. They were saying that this red dot was going to be that moment where we push back down and experience some sort of attempt to find support in this $80,000 range, which is what he's highlighting here. I think he's dead wrong. And I don't give a shit if he's regarded. I think he's dead wrong, and I'll say it. I'm not one of those dudes that's like, could go up, could go down, and draw out arrows both ways. No, I think we going up. How about that? How about them apples? And this $130,000 range end of year is kind of like the general minimum expectation of the targets. Upper range comes in at this 170 mark, and then Q1 is really where I'm looking for that blow off top. So I'll let you know if this changes as we move along in the world of trading and crypto. If I see some major changes to like data, if I see some major black swan on the event, but honestly, we just had a massive breakout within Iran and Israel, the shut of the Strait of Hormuz. We've gone through a lot of bearishness And Bitcoin is still here, like a sneeze away from all-time highs. And we're sitting here calling that this is the end of the market. Like, no, bro, you're not going to change my mind on that. It's going to take a lot more data, not just emotions and feelings, which I think James Wynn's gotten caught up in. He ran like, I think it was like a couple mil up to 100 mil and then got wiped. Now he's out there asking for donations. I knew a guy that was like that rose like a phoenix to the center of the sun, burnt it all on an emotional bid, and then is asking for donations to make it all back. You know, that sounds real familiar. The situation I've experienced. So, all right, now we're going in here. I think I gotta, when your buddy Isaac goes off to basic training, are you gonna get a new co-host? I think so. I think so. But you know what? I think Isaac's always gonna try to call in or be on the show when he can. I've got a guy in mind. I've got a guy in mind that you guys might know. That would be a pretty good stand-in for Isaac, and he's already working hard for our community. You might know the guy. All right, so now CEO Brian Armstrong talking about Coinbase is buying more Bitcoin every week. He's saying long Bitcoin. He's consistently staying on this bullish outlook for Bitcoin, the bald one coming out here, just staying focused here. Brian Armstrong is like the villain turned superhero in crypto here. And honestly, like I'm not too worried about Coinbase. I think institutional backing of it is going to remain very, very strong. And Coinbase is about to roll out their other side of revenue, which is the perpetual futures side. This is going live on July 21st. So Coinbase is going to launch this perpetual futures on July 21st. Honestly, this is extremely bullish for Coinbase, might be a little bit bearish for the others, you know, such as decentralized exchanges might see a little bit of outflow. Some offshore exchanges might see a little bit of outflow from this Coinbase movement coming in here. Say it ain't so about Jeremy. No, it's not Jeremy. You guys don't like Jeremy? You know, I like messing with Jeremy. Taco? No, not Taco, but he'd be a good one. Me and Taco get along. I'll let you guys. He has his own channel. He does have his own channel. So we have some larger traders also making me a little bit wary about trying to get this breakout moment on this trade here. $165 million Bitcoin long. That was in profit when it was put into place yesterday. The trader is about 20x long on Bitcoin on chain, currently up $2 million. I really think that this is upping the ante for market makers to want to cause violence to the downside. You know, the bigger these traders become, you know, the more hardcore these market makers become on trying to wash out these longs. So where things sit, we just knocked out that first level of upside here at about 107,600. There is levels right above us. If I start to see these disappear here, that's where I got to get careful. Good morning, Blasnik. Good morning. No, it is not Jeremy. You know what? Jeremy made a good person to argue with during the political chaos. Obviously, he's still a hardcore Democrat. Jeremy tags me and stuff. Render is pumping. I do not own any Render. However, last time it started to break out, it was a queue for all coins to run, says Jason Casper's Chicken. Interesting. Render might be that canary in the coal mine for us. Might be the canary in the coal mine, potentially. I'll go look at the render chart here in a minute after I get to this Bitcoin and macro. We got Backed, publicly traded company Backed, is getting ready to use $1 billion on the shelf offering to buy Bitcoin. So we have setups for $1 billion buy out of a random company Backed Holdings, publicly traded, that's looking to make a move into the Bitcoin treasury play. A lot of different companies are getting ready for this. It's just a matter of, will it move price or will it give the bears more juice? Now, I love Follis. He gives really funny takes, but God, the flopping and groping back and forth, up or down. You know, I can understand from a scalping standpoint if you're doing this, but he's talking about price grinding lower, open interest dropping, FUT's trying to prop things up, but spot selling is nonstop. Meanwhile, funding skews positive. He forgot to mention that Bitcoin mining sales and companies that mine Bitcoin, they've stopped selling. So he's just saying like spot selling is nonstop. It's absolutely not true on an aggregate side from the whales. and not really what you want to see if you're bullish. Now he's highlighting this as basically a bearish, sentiment this morning. Then you go and look at his most recent stuff. Consolidation leads to expansion. And it's just like constant back and forth. It's engagement farming to the max. I love, I really think he's funny, but the back and forth, the wishy-washiness, really not a fan of. Really not a fan of that. Elon Musk says hashtags are going to be banned from ads on X starting tomorrow. Am I wrong for blocking every single one of these? They look like I get hit with these random ads. Where's a good example of this? I guess I block them so they go away, but I get this, like, it almost looks like an advertisement ad in my notifications. I just block it. I don't even care. I really don't care. It doesn't matter to me. And also, this is kind of cool. I just noticed this. Mario. Oh, God. That's what is up with Liver King, dude? This is what Liver King used to look like before he did all those roids. Like, he was like a reasonable looking dad. And now this has happened? Like, really, bro? You are out there, dog. You are out there. Jesus. This is the one. So, oh God, I get tagged in a lot of stuff. This is the one. So Roundtable starting to repost this stuff that I said. I think a lot of people are underselling what we looked at earlier this week with a $120 trillion industry of single-family housing in the United States, now opening up their eyes and accepting Bitcoin as an asset that can be utilized in the valuation of someone's net worth to give them a loan on stable housing. So good on them. They gave me some retweets and captures of this. This is starting to go nuts. Each one of these are over 60,000 views. That's cool. But don't be bad. Don't feel bad if you have to be out there blocking people. Don't feel bad by blocking. I block a lot of random weird things that, just look like, if it feels like a scam, it most likely is a scam. I'll just say it that way. If it feels like a scam, it most likely is a scam. Don't feel bad cutting them out of your life. And other people I don't feel bad cutting out of my life is Rosie O'Donnell. Says that Trump presidency made her overeat, drink, and self-deport to Ireland. You know what? These sound like personal issues, Mrs. Rosie O'Donnell. It sounds like you made these choices on your own. And now may our country ever forget that you were ever a countryman, or a countrywoman, rather. And here she is in this, what is this guy from Frozen? Isn't that the snowman from Frozen? But apparently it's Trump's fault that she overeats, that she drinks, and she self-deported herself to Ireland. Doubt that. Now this is interesting. And, usually I'm like, screw this guy. Alex Becker predicts once Ethereum leads and triggers an alt season, Wall Street will rotate into top altcoins. We're talking the Cardano, the XRP, the AVAX, the Chainlink, the top altcoins, the top 20 altcoins. He's saying are going to be very, very heavily speculated on once Ethereum starts to break out. The first part of this question is Ethereum ever going to break out? That's the big question that you got to ask yourself here. It's a big question and a lot of other people are asking themselves here. I know we took a little bit of a sneak peek at Bitcoin dominance is looking vile to the upside. We do have to see if the ETH to Bitcoin pair has any hopes of retaining this pump that it had just about a month ago. This is ETH to Bitcoin on the weekly, and it's trying to give up a good portion of that pump that it experienced. It's currently lost 19% from that pump moment. We rallied against Bitcoin by about 44%. That was a huge, huge move. A lot of excitement came back to alts, and it is trying to give that up right now. Very, very insane if we saw Bitcoin dominance go up to 70 and then this ETH to Bitcoin pair start to break down to these historic low levels. Because, honestly, we are at a very, very historic low level for Ethereum to Bitcoin valuations. A lot of the attention's been on this circle graph, on these coin graph. And this is circle where it sits right now. Honestly, we're starting to get pretty decent entry points. So that's nice to see on Circle's Wall Street play. It's an auxiliary play to crypto. Circle, in my opinion, is going to end up being what we call a CBDC because of how built into the masters of the universe it is. let's go look at coin and see if we can get some data on what coin's looking like today. All right, so coin, it hit, I do believe, previous all-time highs. Bam. And I circled this just because it really looks like the total three. Like this chart design looks like what altcoins in aggregate look like. And the question here is, have we seen this run up on these Wall Street plays, and now the interest starts to bleed down into the altcoin sector? Let's see here. I got to check the Discord link to make sure that works. All right, I'll give that a try here after the show here to make sure that Discord link works. I really want people to be able to make money trading into DeFi. So that's something I'm really, really focused on. But what say you? Is Alex Becker wrong or right? Are we going to see ETH pump and then interest start to flow down into the likes of ADA, Solana, AVAX, all these other things that we speculate on in the kind of top 20 of crypto? Or is this next year or two literally just meant for the Bitcoin super cycle, right? Is this it? Is this it? I think Crypto Fast is calling it. He's right. I think he is right. And I'd like to disagree with Alex Becker as much as I can. But I think that he's dead on with this take. So kind of an interesting thing to think about. Now, Chainlink has rolled out the highlight that it looks like Chainlink and Aave have been integrated and now seemingly inseparable. Following the success of phase 1 and 2, the Aave DAO has officially voted with a unanimous approval to enter phase 3 of its activation of Chainlink SVR. This expands the SVR for Chainlink to cover 75% of Aave's total Ethereum total value, which represents 95% of Aave's OEV relevant to TVS based on historic data. With this expansion, the opportunity to capture a greater amount of MEV for Aave and Chainlink ecosystems. And really, when I look at Aave, when I look at how long Aave has been able to hold up in terms of being a great DeFi spot for not having major exploits, I feel like Aave is going to compete with banking at a point. I feel like Aave is going to compete with banking at a point. So let's hop on over to CoinMarketCap. Now we're going to start swimming into altcoins. Okay, we're going to go swim into the deep end of altcoins. I do want to see where prices are at for all these damn alts that have been so painful. So painful. Like if I was not trading, I'd be punching my monitor in the morning here. So let's look at the greater ecosystem right now, see where things are sitting. Mostly green. So that's great. Sui on a big return flight. Aave in dark green. Nice to see. So we got Sui, Aave, and what are these little ones here? What is this one? I like using this general price heat map in the morning. Okay, so render. This is render. It's starting to move up. We're getting some lifeblood into render. $3.24. A lot to be desired on that price. Oh my God, what's the internal? Okay, Constellation's up 8%. Plume is trying to chunk back up. Interesting. Okay, Aerodrome trying to get back to that 80-cent mark. Chainlink still just slopping around at $13. Ugh. Ugh. Let's look here. Pudgy Penguins. Pudgy Penguins is up 15%. Render is right behind it at 10%. And then SEI is still holding up on that 44% on the week pump, 8% on the day. Sui up 7%. It's only up 2% on the week, though. Okay. So we're getting some notice here. And, something else worth noting is Solana Eco. Solana Ecosystem, top 2. Solana Ecosystem right here. The kind of, name twins, Sui and SEI, kind of right neck and neck there. And then Fartcoin, of course, because this world is chaos, and Aave. So I'm actually seeing this is dominated by Solana at the top end there. Thank you very much, Brian Hardy, for gifting the 10 memberships to the show there as well. The absolute GOAT, Brian Hardy. Shout out to you, man. Thank you very much. Good to see Aptos up 4%. Still not above and beyond that $5 mark, though. Let's go look at render. Let's go hop into render. Not a bad day. Not a bad looking day at all, is it? All right. Something to notice here. Not a bad looking Friday. Our beatings have not continued, and we are trying to bounce off of some nasty levels that we fell to in altcoins. Looks like render fell to $2.60. And on the yearly, this is pain in a picture. I mean, god damn. I remember I got out of Render a long time ago. I think it was like $10 freaking or something like that. And it has been a hard fall. If this is the bounce, if this is the moment, major money will be played. You know what I am seeing here? Let's go to actually give this. Because I think Jason Casper's Chicken has something very valid, what he's saying. Render is like this canary in the coal mine for altcoins, just because it's like it's a true ass altcoin. Like Render is a true ass full speculation mode altcoin at this point. So let's see here. I want to do something. I am noticing something here. This level is kind of an old school level of support that Render has tested multiple times in times past. It was this resistance point in 23, end of 23 right there as well. And tried to hold a support when it was on its way down in 2022 when the bear market was starting to really set in. This is something actually worth noting. This $2.50 level for Render, and then the greater context of Render being a true ass altcoin. I think that matters quite a bit there. So good looking out there. Good looking out, Jason Casper's Chicken. Market's not looking too bad, honestly. And while we're getting into the weeds, the woodwork of altcoins, if you guys have altcoins that you're questioning, or if you think is going to be very, very bullish, give me the ticker. Give me them tickers. Start dropping them tickers in the comments section here, and we can start floating around and checking out those other altcoins, see where they're at, and also, if we need to, dive into the TVL and see how much TVL is actually sitting there. So Kraken, a major U.S. exchange, launches Crack. This is a Crack person-to-person payment app for fee-free transfers across 160 countries and 300 different assets. One thing that's interesting about this is that a pretty widespread allowance for Crack to do this person-to-person transfer, which I think is very, very interesting. I think that is very, very interesting. Oh, Lord, we're going to get Collat. All right, Mr. Collat. All right, let's go check out Collat. Mr. I'm going to go through these. I'm looking at all your chats here. We're going to try to run through them all here. This is a collateral. I'm probably going to, knowing Crypto Stevo, I almost guarantee you I have to go use Deck Screener to find this obscure ticker. Unreal. Oh, got me too, Mr. Crypto Stevo. What have you done? What have you done? Oh, shit. Okay. Seeing some, clear higher lows. And we're going to do some mail TA on Collat. Such chaos. 1.2 in liquidity, 1.2 million liquidity, and an $18 million market cap. Total danger zone, total chaos. But good general flows to the upside. You get the 2,000% pump there. It washes back down, comes to its new trend line. An 800% pump there. Okay. Let's see if it's a insider dump hellhole. So we got 13,000 holders. Top traders. You got some insiders. For sure dumping. Be careful of that. Check out the bubble map, see what we can get on this. Bam. Getting holders. Total insider. Collat, Jesus. Trade with caution on this one. Okay. The chart looks reasonable, and the insiders have been doing a job of making the chart look good to entice male astrologists like myself. Will rug at a point. Let's see. I want to keep on going through the chat here and see what other things. SXT, FAF. Let's just go through here. FAF. We're going to go through all kinds of stuff today. I'm feeling ridiculous. God, you guys are really keeping me in Deck Screener too. Give me stuff that's like at least I can't even get SXT. You're gonna have to give me the ticker. You're gonna literally have to give me the actual contract address. Jason Casper and his chicken giving me the call for inverse finance. And speaking of chickens, I did crash out a little bit this week. I have 7 new baby chicks, which is great, but I lost like 5 or 6 of them. That was sad. That was sad. All right, let's go to inverse finance. Pour some liquor out for the chickens. This is the all-time ICP type graph for inverse finance. That's terrifying. What are we looking at? 7-day. If I'm buying any of this, it's going to be like a fraction of a percent of my portfolio. Literally, like a fraction of a percent. That is not looking great. We got to look at Pyth. Let's look at Pyth. Can Pyth please pump? For the love of God, pump my man's Nick Demondi's bags here. Jesus. What in the world? It is at 9 cents, dude. Oh. This is why I'm so happy I started just trading Bitcoin months ago. God damn. What in the world? Frankie, I'm actually going to be paintballing with. Me and Frankie Candles are going to go out there and have a bromance paintballing. Maybe we'll talk about charts. Maybe we'll explode some charts. Who knows? Oh my God, bro. Pyth Network. This is so insane. Had another unlock. Like they're just like, I can't pull over any farther. This is Genius Maximus VC action right here, bro. Oh my God. Okay, so how many are out now? So 5.7 billion Pyth tokens are out. There's still, dude. Oh my God. Like, what in the world? Go to token unlocks, unlock progress. Okay, so it just got over a major unlock. It doesn't look like more should come. God damn. That is so brutal. Yeah, and this is a good highlight. Sold all your Pyth when you found out Solana chose Chainlink over Pyth for several DeFi protocols. That should have been a huge signal. Like if Pyth was supposed to be the Chainlink killer, but he was going to build out a Solana's ecosystem, and Solana's like, nah, we're going to just go with Chainlink. That was a pretty clear signal. Pretty clear signal there. God, can't get over that. Unlocks kill Pyth. You have to keep up with those unlocks. Yeah, do not hold Pyth, only trade it. Put us graph and OPT holders out of our misery. Oh my God. So we're going to the graph now. Pretty sure I was like advising out of this position on graph like a long time ago. Pretty sure I saw actual new AI agents and stuff like that coming out a while ago. And I was like, you know what? Not so great. This is not great. This is how it goes, man. And I don't know, Retro Breeze, you probably didn't like, maybe you missed that episode or something like that. Yeah. So we saw, let's just talk about this. So in March of 24, we saw NVIDIA and near an ICP and AI adjacent, at least AI adjacent projects pump really hard. The graph pumped with it, went to 32 cents. Great time to take profits, right? Great time to take profits. I took a lot of profits on alts when this happened. I took a lot of profits on alts. Okay. And then you get the secondary pump. It was December of 2024. You had the AI agent pump. Where in the hell did this end up? So the AI agent pump happened, and literal AI agents came out and just fell off a cliff. This is insane. This is nuts. And you know, this is a part of someone I know's portfolio that actually I have to deal with as well. Thankfully, the person had only bought these red splotches. So they're actually currently just barely below flatline, which is honestly insane. And I'm not going to say who it is, but this person's very, very close to me. and they've only bought the red zone, which is great. So let's go over to, and I'm just speaking out loud. If you're stuck in graph, if I were stuck in graph, I got to reword this. If I was stuck in graph in this current market, Bitcoin's been doing what it's done. This is what I'm doing. I'm going over the graph to Bitcoin chart. Going over the weekly. Okay. Holy, look at that. Oh my. Holy God. Okay. 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 So when we do have another wave of, interest in alts, which I disagree with Becker on most things that, whenever I can, I disagree with him. I do agree that Wall Street's flow downhill, like basically when pump Bitcoin, pump all Wall Street's Bitcoin adjacent projects. And I think the next step is down to ETH and, the other alt sections here. This chart makes me want to puke. And it's probably when we have that alt speculation at large, you're going to be able to run up on the graph to Bitcoin by, I mean, even if the graph had a failed pump and was never allowed to escape this downward trend line to hell against Bitcoin, which it absolutely is writing. And even if I'm generous, this trend line is like right here, there. It's like a generous trend line on a path to hell. I could see it capturing this for a moment's time. Okay. I could see it capturing just the lower end of this pump to moment and then falling back down into another cascade to hell. So where it sits right now, it could pump by 170% at, over the next few months. You can get a momentary escape pump out of the graph, and I'm jeeting every single token I have into Bitcoin. Flat out, without apologies. No one in the graph ecosystem is going to be there to give you a hug when this thing literally goes to this level. Here's zero. Here's what zero looks like against Bitcoin for the graph. And no one from the community, the dev team, none of them are going to care when this chart does this. And not even that. Here, that's too generous. None of them are going to care. So, I care about you. I care about people out there holding this project. And I will say that when you do have a momentary escape and you get to see this obscure past AI data, yada, yada play move up in the slightest bit against Bitcoin's price action. I mean, with how low it is against Bitcoin, even a move like that is like 20%, man. No one's going to hold. No one is going to eat. No one that holds, no one from the dev team, no one from the community is going to care when this thing goes to near zero against Bitcoin for you. I'm sorry. So it is what it is. This does not look like Google of blockchains to me. This looks like an old speculated upon alt that is trending to zero against Bitcoin from a statistical standpoint. Shout out to this. I mean, there's a Memecoin that's doing pretty good. That's nice to see. It's dog on Bitcoin. It's gotten listed on Kraken, so that's great. Probably going to see some selling. Is what it is. I still don't have dog. I know that it's a very strong community. That's great. I have an engagement farmed them. I know it's going to do pretty decently in terms of being an altcoin or a meme coin. Oh my God. Coinbase gave sufficient enough free graph in 2020 and 2021, and it is down 88%. Absolutely crazy. Instead of Google, it's more like the Yahoo of blockchains, 100%, veteran crypto, 100%. That is absolutely. Something else that's crazy within these alts is the voting power that you can grab with a small amount of money. 5 Ethereum bought 19.3 million Arbitrum voting power worth $6.5 million through lobby finance, and nobody thinks that this is completely effed. Arbitrum is actually killing it with 370,000 users daily and 1.4 million in weekly revenue, but their governance can be bought with pocket change. DeFi Ignas called it. DAO governance is becoming pure theater. Lido centralizing, Uniswap centralizing. Now this progressive decentralization always was a lie, even though they're not trying to hide it anymore. The timing is honestly incredible. 80 million Arbitrum incentive program just passed. Euler Finance joining the ecosystem. All this genuine growth happening, and the governance gets exposed as a joke for the price of a decent NFT. Absolutely nuts. Having that much buying power in Arbitrum's movement, not a great thing. Good Lord. Democrats are apparently the ones who leaked the information of the perfect flight of the B-2 bomber to Iran and the nuclear site. Trump talking about they should be prosecuted, leaking internal government movement, military movement. Be interesting to see where that goes. And this is really sad, is the fertility rate is collapsing. So global fertility rate was 4.9 children per woman in 1950. 2023 census came out at 2.3 children per woman. And this looks like an ICP graph. This is honestly very, very scary. And there might be some other things playing into why this is happening. This is probably one of the more uncomfortable. So here's the deal. I'm a pretty hard-sided dude. I'm a pretty opinionated dude, and I haven't hid from that fact for quite some time. This next story I'm about to talk about is probably one of the most uncomfortable stories that I will ever have to cover in my life. It's a story that slowly is unraveling. It's a story that I was extremely unpopular for talking about it being likely when the experiment on humanity was going on. And now we're getting some results of the greatest experiment on humans that we've ever experienced, which is the VidJet. So we just talked about a graph that looks like ICP going to zero. Fertility rates. Hold on, I got to get to this. After I talk about this, I'll talk about Chainlink. I'll get to your Chainlink question. Put it back in the chat. A peer-reviewed study affirms that the VidVax reduced fertility. What was once dismissed as a conspiracy theory, I was kicked around, made fun of for talking about this conspiracy theory, now has hard data behind it. A new peer-reviewed study on the Czech Republic has uncovered a very disturbing trend. In 2022, women who took this experimental therapy against C19 had a 33% fewer successful conception rate per 1,000 women compared to those who did not take the experimental therapy. Successful conception means the pregnancy that led to live birth in 9 months afterwards. The study wasn't small. It was analyzed data from 1.3 million women aged 18 to 39. The numbers are revealing a 33% downtick in fertility within the people that took this experimental therapy. This is absolutely insane. This is one of the main dangers. When I see that it's government mandated, when I see that there's data and results from their testing of this that the medical industrial complex wasn't willing to release for another 75 years, I assumed that they were being nefarious from a government level onto the people across the planet. It does look like that's what's happening. My heart goes out to the people that fell into the trap of this, one of the greatest psyops and litmus tests this world has ever seen. And the results are very, very ugly. So, absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. I got to go find this Chainlink question now. Willis, where is the Chainlink question? Someone give me Willis's Chainlink question. Drew, okay. Is Link not pumping because you don't actually have to use the Link token to pay to use the Oracle? No. CCIP, to a degree, you have to use across blockchains right now. Chainlink is currently a victim of the lack of price action for Ethereum. You can pretty clearly see Ethereum start to move up. Chainlink starts to move up. In November, it will be interesting for me to watch for Chainlink because in November, Swift is supposed to go live with their testing of Chainlink being used for cross-chain payments using the CCIP. Now, if Swift integrates 1% of their payment infrastructure onto CCIP, that'll pump the price to nearly $400. But it's a matter of if they're willing to test 1% of transactions, or if 1% of the transactions end up going onto the blockchain, which I don't think is asking too much, but we'll see if we're just insane for expecting something like to happen. That should be going down in November. So that's where that goes. Mammo on base. I mean, we covered Mammo on base before it even went live, and that thing has been looking really bullish here. This is AI. This is a DeFi AI agent on base. Never too early to short Ethereum. Ain't that the truth? All-time graph for Mammo, not bad actually. Okay, we found a support level. Honestly, like the chart on Mammo is never going to be bad for me because we covered it literally before it even went out. Like people could have just got in literally before this graph was even conceived. About 0.32 cents is a major support level for this. Building a shelf at 4.6. Yeah, this is more of a DeFi utility play. Generally, it's definitely going to be, always up from where we started paying attention to it. Where we get into it is the question here. I don't have any of this, and I am underexposed to AI and AI agents. So really, this is it's giving me FOMO. It's giving me FOMO because I need to. I love the base ecosystem in general, and this holding this pump 2 moment. It's proved this as support multiple times. Trying to coil up. I need to check this out. All right, I need to check my trade. All right, fine. Let's go check the trade. Ha! I successfully blindly held a 25x. It didn't even matter. I have my stop loss right at about $106,650. So if I failed, I failed. Let's see if we are running out of steam though. I was trying to take this boy all the way to $107,800. Do I have to check optimism? Dude, I haven't checked optimism in a long time. Hold on. I'm interested in actually making money right now, not looking at optimism. Swine. No, I'll go check out. Fine. The super chain that's going to run everything and not pump anywhere. Jesus. What in the world? All right. So it is falling below this main volume node. Kind of why I have this, if I lose this volume node, then we got to go back down and test this damn lower end of this trend. God, we pumped right to this son of a biscuit while I was yapping. Let's see if we're printing any red dots. I know you mentioned we're printing a red dot on the 15-minute. Let's go here. Look at this graph. So we're at that moment where we hopefully can prove the top end of this trend is support, but it is below it technically right now. 15 minutes. I mean, we're seeing the VWAP clip to the downside and momentum to the upside, getting ready to roll over. So we could expect short-term pullback. See how deep that pullback should go. No, I did not get the Mammo airdrop. I might have. I just haven't paid attention to it. Went from roids to meth. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, this is short-term pain. Chainlink is going to be, I just have a feeling Chainlink is going to cause me pain. Like it's so bullish and utility based, and I hold a huge bag of it, so it just won't do anything. That's why I've gotten a little bit more violent on the upside for trade in the last few months here. You know what? If my alts aren't going to print, I'm going to print my own money. All right, so there's the 15-minute print in the red dot. There we are. We'll see if we can hold this level. See if we can hold this level. This is the 5-minute. Bam. We pumped real out of it. Now we see if we can hold this. If it fails, I'll get stopped off in profit anyways. That'd be pretty damn nice to see us go above and beyond. Like what I'd love to see and what would be absolute cinema is this weekend we pump above and we actually start moving up and out of this range over the weekend, leaving all of the, the genius macro heads behind this weekend. That'd be absolute cinema. I would love to see that actually. Let's see where liquidity is living. Bam. Woo! We wiped out most of them. Most of them ran away. Most of them ran away. We'll see. Well, it's time for me to go hit the gym. And I will recommend everyone that can hit the gym. Jay Blakely asking me if I'm trading this weekend. You know what? I kind of feel like it. I kind of feel like trading this weekend because everyone's just so bearish, yet the price is just coiling up for a move to the upside. Honestly, like look at here's why. Here is why. I should have started the damn show with this. Here is why I am counter to all of the damn bears out there. I will show you right now. Let's delete these freaking indicators. I will show you the literal singular thing that I am seeing that none of these macro geniuses for some reason are looking at. And it's absolutely insane. It makes me crap out. So this sell-off wave on the MACD has gotten weaker over the last two impulses. And on the daily, we are starting to move to the upside. The last time we had a daily expansion on the MACD was right here. Let's give a quick measurement to the last time we had a true expansion to the upside for the MACD. We pumped by 30% on Bitcoin. We were at $80,000. Okay. We have had multiple moments where this has been suppressed and we get a weaker MACD sell-off, and then you start to move violently to the upside. The daily MACD has me feeling giddy. It has me feeling uppity. So hence I'm out here fishing for that gig along. I'm out here fishing. And yesterday, end of the day, talked about a pullback. And a lot of people disagreed with me. I talked about a pullback. It freaking came, it happened. We are calling this thing damn well. Now we have a trade that's literally sitting in profit regardless of either way it goes. But the last time the daily MACD looked this good, we pumped by nearly 30%. So take it or leave it. Make your own decision. If you want to be bearish on the market, short it. Or just get out of the market. Get out of the way. That's fine by me. I'm sitting in here. Vet Drew, call me. Let's get you in DeFi. Let's have that call this weekend, Mr. Veteran Crypto. I think Sunday would be the best time for me, Vet. So, because I'm going to be traveling to Denver on Saturday, getting the live stream system set up to go live Saturday night. So I will give you a call and I'll hit you up Sunday, Mr. Man. Love and appreciate every single one of you out here. You know what? Just get involved with crypto. Find a way to get involved with crypto. And if there is a time frame where I feel like we're overcooked and this thing is just over with, I'll let you know. As things sit right now, I think we're sitting pretty. And I'm not worried about anything really at this stage in the game. I love and appreciate you guys. Stay based. Don't go top blasting. Find ways to make money in crypto. Like just make more crypto. Make more Bitcoin. Buying graph here. You're buying graph here, really?
You are banned!
Are you really? Jesus. Wrong. Unbelievable. Not on this channel. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you soon.